Good afternoon, everybody. So, last 2 days we have gone through the concept human health and diseases. So, let's look into the competitive questions which may be helpful for you in the future competitive exams. So, let's start with the discussion of these questions. So, the first question on the board, you can see the immunoglobulin present in mother's milk is. So the answer is we have IgM, IgA, IgD, IgE. So the answer is IgA. Ig stands for immunoglobulin. Ig stands for immunoglobulin. Excuse me. Immunoglobulin A. IgA, immunoglobulin A. So immunoglobulin means antibodies. So we know the structure, we know how many types of them are there. IgM is a macro, that is immunoglobulin, which is very big in size. IgD, the functions of IgD is not that clear. So though there are 5 different types of immunoglobulins, only 4 are mentioned in our textbook. And IgE, we know it is produced during allergy. And one more is there, which is called as IgG, that is immunoglobulin G. So, which can pass through the placenta and can also provide the passive immunity to the child, which can pass through from mother to the child or the fetus through the placenta, and that is IgG. Okay, that's about the first question. The answer is IgA. The second question is, who among the following is recognized as the father of immunology? So immunology is nothing but the study of immune system. So immunology is the study of immune system or immunity. And who's the father of it? So the answer is Edward Jenner. So Edward Jenner was a biologist who found out the vaccine for smallpox. He was the first who found out the ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪಾಕ್ಸ್. ಒಂದಾನೊಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಾಂಕ್ರಾಮಿಕ ರೋಗ. ಇದರಿಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಸಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಅಂತಹ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಜೀವ ತುಂಬದಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬಯಾಲಜಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಎಡ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಜನರ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಹೂ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪಾಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್, ವೆರಿಯೋಲಾ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಸೊ he could save much lives who were dying in this world. So he is directly called as the father of immunology. And Louis Pasteur, we have Robert Koch is there, and Ferdinand Kahn, we have the other options. All of these are microbiologists. So Louis Pasteur, you might be knowing, he's very famous for his concept on pasteurization. So pasteurization ಇದೆ, and evolution ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಓದಿದೀವಿ ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ಚರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. So then Robert Koch idane, he is also another microbiologist, and Ferdinand Kahn is also another microbiologist who found out heat resistant I mean spore resistant bacteria, heat resistant bacteriaಗಳನ್ನ ಕಂಡಿದಂತಹ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಫರ್ಡಿನಂಡ್ Kahn. And Robert Koch is very famous for finding the cause of tuberculosis, right? Robert Koch. So all these are microbiologists, and the father of immunology is the Edward Jenner. So moving on to the next question, that is, if the person shows the production of interferons in his body, chances are there that he is suffering from malaria, measles, tetanus, anthrax. So there are 4 options with us. So interferons. So we have studied interferons in the topic where we have studied cytokine barriers. So interferons are nothing but antiviral protein produced against a viral infection, produced from the virus infected cells, and it stops the neighboring cells from the infection. So malaria is caused by a protozoan. We know malaria is caused by plasmodium. Measles, this is caused by a virus which is called as rubiola virus. It is caused by a virus called as rubiola. And The remaining tetanus, Clostridium tetani, it is caused by a bacteria, and anthrax. This is also caused by a bacteria which is called as Bacillus anthracis. So interferons are defined itself as antiviral proteins. So you can understand this is caused when there is infection of a viral disease. And the viral disease among all the four is the measles, which is caused by rubeola virus. And therefore, the answer is measles. That is option 2. Yes, let's move on to the fourth question. Match the types of immunity listed in column 1 with the examples listed in column 2. Choose the correct answer that gives the correct combination of the two columns. Combination of alphabets of the two columns. So we have the question, we have the options. So column 1 ali natural active, artificial passive, artificial active, artificial passive anta ide. So in the column 2 we have various options. So naturally active immunity. So yesterday we learned something about active immunity and passive immunity. So natural and active immunity. So and natural and passive immunity. So artificial active immunity and artificial passive immunity. So natural immunity is something where uh, the host body, when it is exposed naturally by certain microbes, it is going to produce certain antibodies. So natural active is immunity fighting infections naturally. So fighting infections naturally, you can go with A. You can match yes with A. Natural infections, fighting infections naturally. Artificial passive. So it should be artificial and it should be passive immunity. So immunity developed by heredity from mother to fetus through placenta, it is natural. Injection of anti-serum to travelers. So yesterday we learned this something called as passive immunization. So passive immunization, artificial, and also it is passive. Therefore, you can go this with B. So you can match B with R. Next, artificial and it is active. So active immunity, but it is artificial. So induced by vaccine can be the right answer. Active immunity ಅಲ್ಲಿ natural expose ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. So artificial active, natural exposure ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ by artificial means, sorry, active immunity that is caused either by natural exposure to microbes or through dead or live pathogens or the microbes. So dead microbes in the you can increase the immunity, that is by inducing by vaccination. So artificial active is induced by vaccination. So this is C. Natural passive. So natural, but it is passive. So passive immunity, it is from mother to fetus because the ready-made antibodies are given from one organism to another organism. Here, the antibodies are produced in the mother's body and it is transferred to the fetus through the placenta, and therefore you call it as passive immunity. And it is natural because it is produced naturally. Therefore, it is, you can match D with Q. So this is the combination, and the right answer is A is matched with yes. B is matched with B is matched B is matched with R. So A is matched with yes. So you can take only 2 and 3 options you can compare. So B is matched with R. So B R. So the third one is almost matching. Now look, artificial active. So it is matching with T. So C is T and D is Q. So the third one is the answer. The right answer is third one. So we have matched it. So you are getting third option as the right answer. So this is about the fourth question. Let's move on to the fifth question. The fifth question is, every time when the dosage every time when the dosage of a drug has to be increased, every time when the dosage of a drug has to be increased to achieve the same kick that initially occurred in response to a smaller dose, this condition is known as. So the question is something related with the drugs. So when drugs are taken, so drugs ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಡ್ರಗ್ ತಗೊಂಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಲ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್, ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ವಿ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡ್ರಗ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತಿನವರೆಗೂ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ತರದ ಒಂದು ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಕಿಕ್, that initially occurred in response to a smaller dose. So drug addiction ಆದೋನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೋಸ್ ತಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಸಾಕು. ಸೊ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಡೋಸಸ್, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೋಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ನು ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 0.2 ml ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಥರದ್ದೇನೋ ಡೋಸ್ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, he has to increase the dose if he want to feel the same effect after some days. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಅವನು ಡೋಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೋಸೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ದಿನದಿಂದ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he has to feel the same kick. ಸೊ that is why is that ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಕಿಕ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಅಕರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ಡೋಸ್. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಮಾಲರ್ ಡೋಸ್ಗೆ ಕಿಕ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆತರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವೈ? ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ the dosage of a drug has to be increase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ the cells will undergo tolerance level of the cells increases. So the answer is tolerance. So the tolerance of the cells increases to that dose, and the more and more dose is required. So the cells require more dose of the chemical so that the same kick is to be produced. So rebound effect ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the effect that is created due to a drug, you can call it as rebound, because ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ್ಲೂ ಆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೇಮ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಬೌಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್, yesterday we have defined, so it is a psychological attachment to certain effects like euphoria and a temporary feeling of well-being, so which is associated with drug and alcohol. That is addiction. Withdrawal symptoms, ಇದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಈ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋರು ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾವಲ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸ್ವೆಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾಸಿಯಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ ವಾಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಸೆನ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ withdrawal symptoms are created. So that is something about the fifth question. The answer is option 1, tolerance. Next, moving on to the sixth question. Which of the following is not a character of cancerous tissue in our body? ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ದಲೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್, ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ದಲೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹರಿಬರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಓದ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ, ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಗ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವೇನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದುವ ಕಣ್ಣು ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಓದಿದ್ರು ಮೈಂಡು ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಹಾಗೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ನೆಸ್. ಸೊ ದೋ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್, if we are not alert, we may make a mistake. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಓದೋದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಇನ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್, ದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇಸ್, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ 4ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರಸ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ದ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ದಲೇ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಹಿಬಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ನಿಯೋಪ್ಲೇಸಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಮೆಟಾಸ್ಟಾಸಿಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಓದಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ನಾನ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷಸ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಓದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಅನ್ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಹಿಬಿಷನ್. when the normal cells lose this capacity, so it will lead to uncontrolled cell division. So the normal cells, when they lose this contact inhibition, then it causes cancer. So contact inhibition is not there in what cancerous tissue. The normal cells, after losing, they become cancerous. Cancer tissue do not have contact inhibition. Neoplasia is a character, is the cancerous cells itself are called as neoplastic cells because they have the capacity to uh, divide in a rapid manner. Next, metastasis. So it is also one of the stage of cancer, the final stage of cancer, where the cancerous cells are dislodged from the tissues and organs and they enter into the bloodstream. Through bloodstream, they are carried to different parts of the body. And this property of cancer is very dangerous, and you call that as metastasis. Inability for differentiation. So, they can it becomes a mass of cells. Uh, they have they don't have the differentiation ability. They cannot be differentiated into different types of tissues or any other functional cells. So the right answer is one, that is contact inhibition. Moving on to the next question, the appearance of cankre, rashes all over the body, or the symptoms of. Of course, this question is something now related with reproductive health, where we are going to study some of the sexually transmitted diseases. So, all these are characters which can be seen in the disease called as syphilis. Treponema pallidum is one of the causative organism of syphilis. So, it is a bacterium. Gonorrhea is also a sexually transmitted disease. AIDS, we know it is a viral disease caused by human immunodeficient virus. The answer is syphilis. So moving on to the eighth question. Interferons are the protein molecules produced from the. So what are the interferons? Interferons are the protein molecules produced from the normal cells in the produce agata, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ರೋಫೇಜಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಬಿ ಲಿಂಫೋಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ interferons. Interferons are cytokine barriers once again. So they are antiviral proteins ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಓದಿದೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ವೈರಸ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಇದು interferons. Therefore the answer will be virus infected cells, that is option 2. So normal cells, they are absolutely normal. Macrophages, they are modified WBC cells which are present in the tissue, in the organs, and they are phagocytic in function, which whenever a foreign body enters into the tissue, it will destroy them. So B lymphocytes, we know there are types of lymphocytes which are once again types of WBCs, right? Which are also responsible for humoral immunity, right? So moving on to the question number 9. Heroin is, so once again, a part of drug. So we know it is an opioid. Heroin is an opioid. Opioid. So he is telling it is a cannabinoid. The second option is telling diacetyl morphine chemically. Then the third is telling commonly called as coke or crack. And the fourth, used to treat mental illness like depression and insomnia. So it is not a cannabinoid. So all opioids are extracted from the plant Papaver somniferum, and heroin is an example of an opioid. So it is also chemically called as diacetyl morphine. So heroin is chemically called as diacetyl morphine is the right answer. Commonly called as coke or crack. No, heroin is called as smack. Coke and crack anta kariyodu cocaine anna, which is a once again a cocoa alkaloid. Then the fourth one is used to treat mental illness like depression and insomnia. Antane. Insomnia is something related with sleeplessness. Mental disease, mental illness idu. Depression andre yavaglu ಬೇಜಾರಲ್ಲಿರೋದು, ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ದಲೇ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಡಿಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ these are all mental illness ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So we have the drugs like amphetamines ಇದೆ, barbiturates ಇದೆ, then benzodiazepines ಇದೆ, LSDs ಇದೆ. They are used to treat these mental illness. Next, therefore the answer is option 2. Moving on to the 10th question. So the Yes, one of the following is incorrect about cancer cells. So ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. There are four statements telling about cancer. One statement is wrong. So we have to identify which statement is wrong about cancer. They exhibit the property of contact inhibition. So this contact inhibition is found only in the normal cells. So when a normal cell becomes a neoplastic cell, it will lose the property of contact inhibition and it will start dividing in a rapid manner. So cancerous cells do not exhibit this property called as the contact inhibition. So this itself is an incorrect statement. Therefore, the answer is 1. Then they are metastatic ಅಂತಾನೆ. So cancer ಅಲ್ಲಿ third stage, the final stage is the metastasis ಅಂತ ಓದಿದೀವಿ, where the neoplastic cells or the cancer cells are dislodged from the tissues, enter into the bloodstream, enter into different organs, and they may produce new malignant tumors. Next, they exhibit mass proliferation antane. So this is of course uncontrolled cell division in the masses of cell produce agate. Of course, they exhibit mass proliferation. They are produced when cellular oncogenes of normal cells are activated antane. So this is also right. So oncogenes galinda kuda normal cells can be converted into what cancerous cells or neoplastic cells. Therefore, this is also correct statement. The only wrong is the first statement, which itself is the answer, because the question is demanding the incorrect statement. Next, moving on to the 11th question. The mature infective stages of malarial parasite. The mature infective stages of malarial parasite, which are transferred from mosquito to man or. So we have studied the life cycle of Plasmodium. So life cycle of Plasmodium ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. Mature infective stages of malarial parasite, which are transferred from mosquito to man. So mosquitoದಲ್ಲಿ sexual phase of Plasmodium ಆಗ್ತದೆ, whereas in human beings asexual phase of Plasmodium ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So infective stages produce ಆಗೋದು malarial parasite ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದರ ಸಲೈವಾ ಇಂದ human beings ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೋಯಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಯಾನೆ, ಮೀರೋಜೋಯಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಯಾನೆ, ಟ್ರೋಫೋಜೋಯಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಯಾನೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಯಾನೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೋಯಿಡ್ಸ್. ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೋಯಿಡ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಪೋರೋ Sporozoites is the answer. Yes. So sporozoites is the first stage of Plasmodium stage. Sporozoites which enter from salivary gland of mosquito into the man. Man ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ it enters into the liver cells. There they undergo asexual reproduction, and after they get and they enter into the liver cells, they will multiply in the liver cells, then they rupture the liver cells and come out. They are called as merozytes. After then they enter into RBC. These merozoites will enter into RBC. Then they will infect the RBC cells, multiply in the RBC cells, and burst open the RBC cells and come out. They are called as trophozoites. So the infective stage that enters the man is the sporozoites is the answer. So the others or other stages of Plasmodium is merozoites and trophozoites. So gametocytes, we know gametocytes are once again produced in the RBC itself. And when there is a bite, another bite of a mosquito, from the blood of man, it is transferred into the saliva of the mosquito. That's it. The answer is sporozoites for the question number 11. Yes. Question number 12. Internal bleeding, muscular pain, blockage of the intestinal passage and anemia are some of the symptoms of antane. So caused due to infection by so Ucheraria ಇದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಟ್ರೈಕೋಫೈಟಾನ್ ಇದೆ ascaris ಇದೆ plasmodium ಇದೆ so internal bleeding muscular pain blockage of intestinal passage and anemia all these are the symptoms of ascariasis which is caused by ascaris which is a nematode or a roundworm ascaris. Answer is ascariasis. It causes in human beings. So Wuchereria will cause filariasis or the elephantiasis. Trichophyton, you know, it is one of the genera of the fungi which causes ringworms. And Plasmodium is going to cause, is a protozoan and it is going to cause malaria. Yes, the answer is option 3. Moving on to 13th question. Which of the following is not correct with respect to malaria? ಸೊ ಮಲೇರಿಯಾಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ 4 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಮಲೇರಿಯಾಗೆ ಅನ್ವಯಿಸಲ್ಲ, ನಾಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೋಯಿಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ the sporozoites multiply in blood. Malignant malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. RBCs rupture and release hemozoin, which causes chills. Female Anopheles mosquito is the yes is the vector. So among this, which is not correct antane. So sporozoites multiply in blood antane. Malignant malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum is absolutely a correct statement. So it is a correct statement. This is correct. RBCs rupture and release hemozoin, that is also correct. Female Anopheles mosquito is the vector. So this is also correct. The only wrong is sporozoites multiply in blood. So actually sporozoites are present or formed in the body of mosquito. Then they enter into human body. They go to the liver cells. Then they go to the RBC cells. So multiplication never occur in the blood. Therefore, the answer is the not correct statement is 1. 1 is the answer. The answer is 1. Yes, let's move on to the 14th question. Smack and crack are produced from. So we have cannabis sativa and Tropa belladonna, Papaver somniferum and Erythroxylum coca, Cannabis sativa and Papaver somniferum, Erythroxylon coca and Atropa belladonna. So smack you call for heroin. Heroin is called as smack and heroin belongs to opioids and opioids are extracted from the plant called as Papaver somniferum. So Papaver somniferum in the extract ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ and the another is crack. So crack or coke, we call it for cocaine. So cocaine is extracted from Erythroxylum coca. So smack belongs to Papaver somniferum and crack, that is cannabinoid, cocoa alkaloids are extracted from the plant Erythroxylum coca. Therefore, the answer is option 2. Papaver somniferum and Erythroxylum coca. Sorry. Papaver somniferum, Erythroxylon coca. So smack and crack are produced from. So the answer is option 2. So cannabis sativa. So this is from cannabis sativa, we usually extract all the cannabinoids. Tropa belladonna, it is an hallucinogen. It is going to give certain drugs which may create hallucinogenic properties. cannabis sativa, once again, cannabinoids, papaver somniferum, opioids, erythroxylum coca, cocoa alkaloids, atropa belladonna, I told. It is hallucinogenic. It is having hallucinogenic property. So the answer is option 2. Moving on to 15th question, natural killer lymphocytes or an example for. So NK cells, cytokine barriers antade, physiological barriers antade, physical barriers antade, cellular barriers antade. So these are all things related with innate immunity, which we studied yesterday. So NK cells atwa natural killer cell killer lymphocytes or an example for, it is the example for cellular barriers. So cytokine barriers ge we have interferons, IFNs ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. So interferons we call them as physiological barriers ge we have the saliva, the HCl in the stomach, etc. Physical barrier ge we have the skin and the mucosa. Therefore the answer is cellular barriers. Next, let's move on to the next question. Question number 16. Identify the incorrect statement from the following. So identify the incorrect statement. So ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿರೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈ ನಾಲ್ಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಂಟಿಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ, interferons kill viruses ಅಂತಾನೆ, response of T cells is called as cell mediated immunity, macrophages or the phagocytic cells. So B cells produce antibody. Of course, B cells will produce antibody with the help of T cells. So you can consider this as a correct statement. So this is almost a correct statement. Interferons kill viruses. So interferons will not kill viruses. Interferons are antiviral proteins produced from the virus infected cells. It will only stop the infection of the viruses. So it will safeguard the other cells from getting infected by the viruses. That's all. It is not capable of killing the viruses. So it is a wrong statement. Response of T cells is called cell mediated immunity antane. It is absolutely right. So T cells are going to contribute for cell mediated immunity and the B cells are going to contribute for humoral immunity. So this is right. Macrophages are the phagocytic cells. Yes, they are phagocytic cells which are going to engulf any of the foreign body which enters into the tissues and tissues and organs. So this is also correct. The only wrong statement is option 2. Therefore, the answer is option 2. Next, 17th question. Some of the events occur during life cycle of Plasmodium are given below. Identify the correct statement. So events occur during Plasmodium life cycle also we studied yesterday. Identify the correct statement. So there are 4 statements related to it. So you can see here only 2 statements. We'll scroll it. So there are 2. The sporozoites reproduce sexually in liver cells. Sporozoites reproduce sexually in liver cells. This is absolutely a wrong statement because in human beings, asexual reproduction of the Plasmodium takes place. It is not sexual reproduction, therefore it is a wrong statement. And he is asking which are some of the events during life cycle of Plasmodium. Correct statements he requires. The gametocytes develop in RBC. This is correct statement. Let us now look into the other statements. Only 2 is correct because we want only correct statements. Only 2 is correct. So getting the second one is correct. So the third statement tells that female mosquito takes up sporozoites with blood meal. Yes, this is, it will not take sporozoites, but it will take gametocytes. So female mosquito takes up, when it is taking from the human body, usually it will take up the gametocytes, but not the sporozoites. Sporozoites are in the salivary gland and they will enter into the human body. So this is a wrong statement. When mosquito bites a man, gametocytes are injected. So this is wrong. This is also wrong. When mosquito bites a man, gametocytes are not injected, only the sporozoites are injected. Therefore, the first statement is correct. Only the first statement is correct. So we'll go to question 17. The sporozoites reproduce sexually in, sorry, not A, it is 2. The gametocytes develop in RBC is the only correct statement. The sporozoites reproduce sexually in liver cells is a wrong statement. Only 2 is the answer. Question number 17. 2 is the answer. The gametocytes develop in RBC is correct. 1 is wrong, 3 is also wrong, and 4 is also wrong. So, next question, question number 18. A doctor identifies symptoms of nasal congestion, headache, sore throat, hoarseness, cough in a patient. The conclusion is that the patient is infected by a pathogen. So, which pathogen has infected this person who is suffering from all these symptoms? So we have already studied so many infectious diseases and their symptoms. So nasal congestion, headache, sore throat, hoarseness, cough in a patient. So we know what is nasal congestion andre mook kattadu antiralla, that is nasal congestion. Headache talnovu, sore throat, so ಗಂಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿರ್ಚಿ ಕಿರ್ಚಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ sore throat. Hoarseness, so usually common cold ಆದಾಗ voice change ಆಗ್ತದೆ, that is called as hoarseness. Cough, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಮ್ಮಿರುತ್ತೆ in a patient. The conclusion is that the patient is infected by a pathogen called as, so we know these are the symptoms of common cold. Common cold is caused by rhinovirus. Therefore, the answer is option 2, rhinovirus. So adenovirus, these are group of viruses. So plasmodium, which causes malaria, salmonella. So salmonella typhi causes typhoid. So moving on to 19th question, a person who has allergy, type of antibody produced in his body is. So IG stands for immunoglobulin, which means antibody. Antibodies are represented as IG, IgA, IgG, IgE, and IgM. So during allergy, Ig is produced. Therefore, the answer is option 3. Next. Question number 20. Which of the following vector-borne diseases caused by Aedes mosquitoes? So, vector-borne disease caused by Aedes mosquitoes. Ascariasis and filariasis, malaria and sleeping sickness, dengue and chikungunya, kala azar and filariasis. So these are all vector-borne disease. Vector means vector is going to transmit the disease from one person to another person. So it is not the causative organism, but it is going to transmit the pathogen from one person to another person, and that organism is called as vector. So here Aedes mosquito is the vector, and which are the diseases it is going to transfer from one person to another person. So ascariasis we have studied already, and filariasis. So filariasis is caused by mosquitoes. Malaria and sleeping sickness. So malaria, we know it is plasmodium, once again coming from mosquito, but it is not Aedes, but it is the female Anopheles mosquito. And sleeping sickness is caused by a protozoan called as trypanosoma. Then dengue and chikungunya. So dengue and chikungunya, both of them are caused by Aedes mosquito, Aedes aegypti. So the answer is option 3, dengue and chikungunya. So Kala azar is also caused by a protozoan called as Leishmania donovani, and filariasis, we already know it is caused by Uchararia bancrofti and Uchararia malayi. Right? So moving on to next question. Question number 21. Morphine is obtained from the inflorescence of cannabis, leaves of erythroxylum, latex of poppy plant, root of atropa. So the answer, Inflorescence of, so morphine is an opioid. So opioids are extracted from poppy plant or it is from Papaver somniferum. Therefore, the answer is latex of poppy plant. Inflorescence of cannabis, cannabis sativa, that is some of the examples like hashish, marijuana, all of them are extracted from cannabis sativa. Leaves of Erythroxylum coca, so coca, that is cocaine, is extracted from Erythroxylum coca. Root of Atropa, so Atropa belladonna is a uh, it is going to, we can extract a drug which is having hallucinogenic properties from Atropa. So the answer is option 3. Yes, in human beings, in humans, common cold is caused by, it's again, the answer is rhinovirus. Answer is rhinovirus. Retrovirus, we have studied, it is a virus which is the HIV virus is called as the retrovirus because it has got the enzyme reverse transcriptase. Baculoviruses, we have studied them under as biocontrol agents. Then rhabdovirus, this is a virus which causes rabies. Mad dog bite, it is also called as rabies, is caused by rhabdovirus. But the common cold is caused by a group of viruses called as the rhinoviruses. Yes, moving on to the next question. It is a match the following and match the items of column 1 with those of column 2 and choose the correct answer. Select the code for the correct answer from the options given below. Question number 23. So, hepatitis B vaccine. So, hepatitis B vaccine. So, vaccines are produced by biotechnology. Large scale production of vaccines are possible with the help of biotechnology, and yeast is used as one of the medium or vector to produce the vaccines. Therefore, you can match yes with A. This is A. So, preformed antibodies. Preformed antibodies. So, against snake venom. So preformed antibodies. Yesterday we studied passive immunization. So B and Q are already matched. Colostrum. Colostrum will contain IgA. So P can be matched with C. So here we'll write B only. Next, PMNL. So neutrophils are called as PMNL. So cellular barriers. Of course, neutrophils are cellular barriers. PMNL stands for polymorphonuclear leukocytes. The answer is neutrophils. So look at the match. A can be matched with yes. You can see first one and third one, they are matched with yes. So leave option 2 and 4, don't try to match them. You just look into 1 and 3. So B, preformed antibodies can be matched with Q. So just look 1 and 3. Both of them, B are matched with Q only. C, colostrum is matched with P. So both of them, both 1 and 3 option C is matched with P, and PMNL, D is matched with neutrophils, that is R. So D, R. 1 and 3 we are looking into. So 1 is the answer because D is matched with R. That is option A is the right answer. So this is how you can match. So we have completed nearly 23 questions. We'll move on to the next question. Question number 24. In malignant tumors, the cells divide rapidly and move to distant parts of the body and cause new tumors. This property is called, so I have already told, it is metastasis. I have explained. The answer is option 1, metastasis. So malignant tumors or the tumors, cancerous tumors are almost malignant tumors because they spread from one organ to another or one tissue to another. So you call it that property is called as metastasis. So the second option, metagenesis, we had studied in first year. So alternation of generations we studied where a polyp is converted into medusa and medusa is converted into polyp. Metagenesis we have come across, but it is not the answer. Teratogenesis is there, mitosis is there. So the answer is metastasis. Yes. Next question. During replication of retrovirus, viral protein is introduced in the host cell. Viral RNA is introduced into the host cell. Then viral DNA is introduced into the host cell. Transcriptase enzyme is introduced into the host cell. So retrovirus comprises of a, here only we have the figure. So this is a retrovirus, this is the protein coat and this is the RNA. We can see here only the RNA has entered into the animal cell, whereas the protein coat is not entered. So viral protein is introduced into the host cell is wrong. Viral RNA is introduced into the host cell. So the viral RNA has entered into the cell is correct. It is then converted into viral DNA, and therefore it is wrong. Transcriptase enzyme is introduced into the host cell. So it is the RNA which is introduced, viral RNA that is introduced. Therefore, the answer is option 2. Next, identify the odd one from the following. Alpha interferon is there, oncogenic virus is there, proto-oncogenes is there, UV rays are there. So we have 4 options which all are related with cancer. So oncogenic virus, proto-oncogenes and UV rays, all of these are causes of cancer. All of these are carcinogens. All of these are carcinogens. Whether it is an oncogenic virus or a proto-oncogene or a UV rays, all of them, all are going to act like carcinogens and they may cause cancer. Whereas alpha interferons are a part of the treatment to cancer. Therefore, the odd one is all the 3 are carcinogens and only alpha interferon is a part of the treatment. So this is the odd one. Odd one ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗುಂಪಿಗೆ ಸೇರದ ಪದ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರ odd one is alpha interferon. All these 3 are carcinogens. Yes, let's move on to the next question. From which of the given plants is the drug whose skeletal structure is given below extracted? So the answer is, the options are Papaver somniferum, Atropa belladonna, Cannabis sativa, Erythroxylum coca. So the given is the skeletal structure of a cannabinoid. It is the skeletal structure of a cannabinoid. So textbook ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದೆ skeletal structure of cannabinoid ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Cannabinoid. So 3 types of drugs are there: opioids, cannabinoids, and cocoa alkaloids. Papaver somniferum, so it is the source plant of opioids. Propa belladonna, it is a plant, it is a source of hallucinogenic drugs. Cannabis sativa, so it is the source plant of cannabinoids. Therefore, the given is cannabinoid, and you can go with Cannabis sativa as the answer. Erythroxylum coca they have given, so it is cocaine. It is another group of drugs. So Cannabis sativa helps in the extraction of cannabinoids. The examples are hashish, marijuana, ganja, etc. The next question, number 28. Identify the incorrect statement. HIV is transmitted by mosquito bite. So he is asking for an incorrect statement which is wrong. Question ಓದೋದು ಬಹಳ ಬಹಳ important. Incorrect statement. HIV is not transmitted by a mosquito bite. So it is a wrong statement. HIV is transmitted only through body fluids, particularly by sexual contact. Pneumonia is a bacterial disease. It is absolutely correct. Cancer is a non-infectious disease. That is also correct. Ringworm is a fungal disease is also correct. So the only wrong statement is HIV is transmitted by mosquito bite. So the causative organism is a virus which is transmitted through body fluids. Therefore, it is wrong. Option 1 is the answer. Next, a man was suffering from mental illness like depression and insomnia. Identify the drug which is normally used as medicine in such cases. So morphine is there, lysergic acid diethylamide is there, nicotine is there, heroin is there. So morphine is a drug which is given for a patient who has undergone surgical operation because morphine is a painkiller and a sedative. So it is not given for mental illness. Second is lysergic acid diethylamide or LSD is the right answer for this question because this is used to cure depression and insomnia. So once again, depression, a state of inactiveness, the slowdown activity of the CNS can be called as the depression, inactiveness, insomnia, sleeplessness ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Nicotine is one of the alkaloid which is present in the uh, tobacco. Heroin, it is an opioid. Yes, moving on to the next question. Which of the following protozoan parasites causes sleeping sickness? So there are four options. Plasmodium, we know it causes malaria. Entamoeba, it causes amoebiosis or amoebic dysentery. Leishmania, it is also a protozoan and it is going to cause Kala Azar. Trypanosoma is the right answer. Sleeping sickness. So trypanosoma is also a protozoan which is going to cause sleeping sickness. Next, question number 31. Identify the enzyme that catalyzes the step labeled as YUM in the given schematic representation of replication of retrovirus is the question. So we have the diagrammatic representation here. So this is retrovirus whose protein coat in the core and inside is the RNA. So this is an animal cell where the RNA is getting entered. So this is viral RNA. There is an arrow mark in between this viral RNA and this is exactly the DNA. And in between, we have the labeling called as YUM. And he's asking, what is YUM? So, which is the enzyme which converts an viral RNA into a viral DNA? That is the question. So, in retroviruses, they have an enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. So we have the answer in the first option. Option 1 is correct. The answer is reverse transcriptase. So RNA polymerase helps in transcription and translation, where we have come across in protein synthesis, recombinase. So once again, it is studied under meiosis, DNA ligase. It is going to join the DNA segments. So the right answer is reverse transcriptase. Next question, question number 32. Certain tumors are called malignant because. So tumors are of two types, as we know. So one is the benign tumors and the other is the malignant tumors. So now the question is why tumors are called as malignant tumors. They're confined to specific locations. They invade and damage surrounding tissues. They show contact inhibition. They are not neoplastic cells. So they are confined to specific locations. That is not a malignant tumor. That can be a benign tumor. So that cannot be the answer. They invade and damage surrounding tissues. So this is one of the character of the malignant tumors. They show contact inhibition. Only normal cells show contact inhibition, but not the malignant, because malignant, they divide in a rapid manner. They do not exhibit this property. They are not neoplastic. So they are not neoplastic means almost they are normal cells. Neoplastic or cancerous cells. So cancerous cells or tumors, they're not neoplastic means they're not cancerous. So the answer is option 2. Let's move on to next question. The transport of which neurotransmitter inferred by cocaine? So cocaine is a drug extracted from Erythroxylum coca. So the question is which neurotransmitter is interfered? So it is going to obstruct the secretion and carrying impulse of which of the neurotransmitter. So dopamine is the right answer. Acetylcholine is there. Serotonin is there. GABA, it is gamma. Uh, Butyric acid. In the life cycle of Plasmodium, fertilization takes place in next question. Salivary glands of mosquito, RBCs of humans, stomach of mosquito, liver cells. So fertilization. Yesterday we studied the life cycle of Plasmodium, salivary glands of mosquito. So it is going to already sporozoites are present in the salivary glands. RBCs of humans. So in human beings, there is only asexual reproduction, but not sexual reproduction. So fertilization is a part of sexual reproduction. Stomach of mosquito is the right answer. Therefore, the answer is option 3. Next, question number 35. Injection of an antidote against a snake bite is an example of. Injection of an antidote against a snake bite. So for a snake bite, the snake bite consists of snake venom. The poison of the snake is called as snake venom. So to rapid immunity should be produced in the body. So immediately antitoxins should be given, which is a part of passive immunity. That is option 3 is the right answer. Yesterday we have studied for tetanus and snake bite. For both we use antitoxins. For both we use antitoxins. So which is called as passive immunization or passive immunity. Next, pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenzae, both 1 and 2, none. Yes, both Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae, both of them are going to cause pneumonia. Both of them are bacteria, right? So moving on to the next question. Question number 37. The development of quick immune response in a person is infected with the deadly microbes by administering performed antibodies in. Once again, deadly microbes. So whenever there is an injection of deadly microbes, as in the case of once again tetanus and snake bite, administered preformed antibodies are given and it is called as passive immunization. It is called as passive immunization is the right answer. Option 4 is the answer. Which is the most feared property of malignant tumors? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಯ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. So the answer is metastasis. So neoplasty, that is normal cells get converted into cancerous cells, you call it as neoplastic. Metastasis is the cancerous cells dislodge from the tissues, enter into the bloodstream, enter into different organs, produce new tumors. The property is called as metastasis. Next, identify the techniques useful in detecting the cancers of internal organs. CT scan or computed tomography, it is called as MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, radiography, and all of the above. The answer is all of the above. So all of these are going to give beautiful images of the internal organs where the cancer is affected. So you can detect whether the organs are affected with cancer or not. Therefore, all of the above is the right answer. Next question. Which among the following plants is a source of drug which is native to America? So the answer is Erythroxylum coca. Option 2, Erythroxylum coca is the answer, which is the native of South America. It is. So, America and the Kotidara, it is, of course, the native of South America. It is also mentioned in the textbook. Papaver somniferum, opioids are extracted from Papaver somniferum, poppy plant, and there are Erythroxylum coca. All the cocoa alkaloids are extracted from Erythroxylum coca. Cannabis sativa, all cannabinoids are extracted. Atropa belladonna, once again, it is having some hallucinogenic property. Identify the most infectious and fatal type of malarial parasite. So malaria is caused by 3 different species of Plasmodium. So among them, the fatal or the most dreadful malaria is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. Excuse me. Plasmodium falciparum is going to cause a fatal malaria. Next question. One of the side effects of the use of anabolic steroids in females. So we have option cirrhosis of liver, loss of memory, masculization, and hallucination. The right answer is option 3, masculinization. It is so due to excess use of steroids. So anabolic steroids are usually used by sports persons. If they use these steroids in excess, a female may develop certain male characteristics, which you call it as masculinization. So cirrhosis of liver is because of excess of alcohol use, loss of memory, then hallucination. These are different other effects of drugs. Next, excess use of drugs. Next question. Which one of the following is a opioid narcotics? Amphetamines, barbiturates, LSDs, and morphine. So the answer is option 4, that is morphine. So amphetamines, barbiturates, LSDs, and all the 3 are used for curing mental illness and insomnia. Diseases like mental illness and insomnia. Next. Question number 44. Find out the correct match. Typhoid is caused by bacteria, of course, it's correct. Main organ affected is lungs, is wrong. It is small intestine. Filariasis, common roundworm, is correct. Small intestine is wrong. So dysentery, protozoa, liver, this is also wrong. Ringworm, fungus, skin. So ringworm is caused by a fungus called as 3 different genera of the fungus, that is trichophyton, epidermophyton, and microsporum. Match the following, match the columns and choose the correct option. Haemophilus influenzae can be matched with pneumonia. So you can match it with A. Entamoeba histolytica, that is amoebiosis. Plasmodium falciparum, that is malignant malaria, and Wuchereria bancrofti. So elephantiasis is the right answer. So Haemophilus influenzae, that is AR, then Entamoeba histolytica, MBS, then Plasmodium falciparum, CP, and Wuchereria bancrofti, DQ. That is option A is the right answer. So in this session, we have solved nearly 45 questions. I think we will end this session. So thank you very much for watching the video.